Good afternoon. Please be seated. I'm Mary Ann Danowitz, Dean of our great College of Education, and it is my honor to welcome our alumni, families, friends, faculty, staff, and guests to our 2019 December graduation ceremony. First, to our graduating students, congratulations. Completing your bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree is a remarkable feat. And I know many of you have completed your degree while working full-time and carrying on major family and personal responsibilities and commitments. So earning your degree is truly an extraordinary accomplishment, and you should be very proud of yourself. So congratulations to our graduates. Well done. But we know that you wouldn't be here without the support of others. So I would like to take a few moments to recognize some very important people. I want to start off by recognizing our college leadership team. Some are listed in the program and will be introduced to you as we begin awarding degrees. Others I'd like to introduce are Dr. Nona Smith-Williams, the college's Associate Dean for Student Success and Strategic Community Engagement, Dr. Paula Stein, the Associate Dean for Research and Innovation, Dr. Hiller Spires, Associate Dean and Executive Director of our Friday Institute for Educational Innovation, and Dr. Michael Mayer, our Assistant Dean for Professional Education and Accreditation. They, along with our leadership team, including our department heads, lead a remarkable group of outstanding faculty and staff. And so with that as a background, I want to say to our graduates, you have received the best of the best from our faculty and staff here in the college. Our faculty and staff have challenged and supported you. They've served as your teachers and mentors, and at times they've perhaps prodded you a bit. They've all done that, though, as a way of preparing you for the opportunities and challenges you will face. So I'd like to ask all my faculty and staff colleagues of the college to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge the family members, loved ones, and friends who have supported our graduates. No one makes it to graduation alone, and for this reason, I would like to ask all our graduates to stand, turn to the audience, and give a huge round of applause to those who have most supported you and stood beside you throughout your educational journey, and those who will stand beside you going forward. So please stand. And to our great class of 2019. We're here to recognize you and to celebrate your commitment to the field of education. You've certainly chosen to work in an area that is not easy, but there is also no profession or field that gives you more of an opportunity or places higher expectations to positively impact so many lives. Collectively, you will conduct research, influence policies, lead community colleges and schools, and other organizations. You will counsel children and adults, as well as teach students. So no matter the path that you've chosen to take, I urge you to be a champion for the educational success of all students, particularly those of color or living in poverty. I urge you to use your passion, your commitment, and your care, along with the knowledge and skills you've gained at NC State. Also, it is crucial to be a fierce, fierce advocate to improve the life of every student, of every client, every colleague, or every individual with whom you interact. Always, I ask, always remember, so for so many people, you will be their last best hope for a better tomorrow. So please embrace your calling as an extraordinary educator and human being, and be confident knowing you are poised to build a better world for children, families, the state, and our nation. It is now my honor to introduce one of the members of the class of 2019 who will deliver the charge to our graduate students, Dr. Greg Chaney. Greg is receiving his Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership, Policy, and Human Development with a focus on counselor education. He has served as an Army chaplain for the past 16 years and is a licensed marriage and family therapist. He trains chaplains on how to integrate pastoral and clinical counseling, and he assists civilian counselors with strategies for working with combat veterans. Please join me in welcoming Greg to the stage.
Good afternoon. I'm humbled to stand in front of you today, especially since I'm in the company of my extraordinary classmates. When I reflect upon my educational journey, I imagine my classmates may be able to relate to how grateful I am to be standing here, though we all took different paths. My journey began in a small rural mountain town in the Sierra Nevada mountains of Northern California. I served a rural church as one of their pastors. In 2003, I heard there was a need in the Army for young pastors who could jump out of planes, live in the woods, and deploy to combat. At 28 years old, I thought jumping out of planes was a perfectly good idea. I entered active duty in 2004 as an Army chaplain, was stationed at Fort Bragg, and immediately started deploying to combat. After over a decade of living this fast-paced lifestyle, I felt the need to take my experiences in combat and caring for soldiers and their families and combine them with an education that would position me to impact service members, veterans, and their families to the greatest extent possible. I found a way to do that here at NC State, and specifically in the PhD Counselor Education Program. I am beyond grateful for this educational opportunity, and when I think about what I gained and learned during my time here, it's a lot like my experience as a paratrooper. People often ask, how are you able to jump out of planes? It sounds petrifying. Well, my mind immediately goes to all the paratrooper jokes centered on how we may not be all that bright. Although that may be true, at least in my case, the bottom line is we are extraordinarily well-trained, and we are surrounded by other extraordinarily well-trained paratroopers. Because of these two facts, when the paratroop doors open, the wind rushes in and hits our faces, and the jump master gives us the 1 minute signal, we can stand there with confidence as our hearts pound in our chests, and we wait for the green light and the command to go. This confidence comes from our training and the training of our team around us. We can do amazing things when we are surrounded by amazing people. But when I first started jumping out of planes, I wasn't all that confident. The whole process was very intimidating. And to be completely transparent, when I started my doctoral program here at NC State, the caliber of my classmates was intimidating to me as well, and felt similar to my first experiences jumping out of planes. My classmates were experienced counselors and already extremely knowledgeable in their field. But what stands out to me is not only are my classmates of extremely high caliber academically and professionally, but they are also just extraordinarily good people. As a diverse group with incredibly different backgrounds, we came together as a team, and we walked this educational journey together. We shared life together. We supported and respected each other, collaborated, and in many instances became close friends. This became the most memorable part of my experience as a College of Education student, being surrounded by other highly capable educators whom I formed bonds with. Perhaps this kind of close camaraderie is the foundation of leaving an extraordinary impact in our society today that is so divided. Class of 2019, We are now positioned to make an impact and to leave a legacy. I believe part of this legacy will be building collaboration and community to address our societal problems with diverse teams of people, similar to how we all came together here. With this in mind, our legacy and impact will be great. I hope to use my education to accomplish this through building collaboration and community with counselors and therapists who care for our millions of combat veterans. These veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population and whose suicide rate is over twice the civilian suicide rate. I see my classmates having a great impact in their respective fields as well, such as advocating for first-generation college students, removing barriers for college-bound students, helping sexual assault survivors, educating the next generation of STEM professionals, transforming schools and entire communities through leadership, policy, or research, just to name a few. I believe the legacies we leave will be centered on our great ability to create diverse teams focused on societal problems in our highly divided world. It is time for us to apply what we have learned here at NC State to make this type of legacy a reality. So, my fellow classmates, here we are today, all together in this College of Education aircraft, rapidly moving towards the drop zone. The paratroop doors just opened. The wind rushes in and hits our faces, and the noise from the engines and the aircraft is almost deafening. Our hearts pound in our chest. The jump master gives us the 1-minute signal, and we are just moments from exiting this aircraft. But before we jump, let me offer you one final reminder. You are a well-trained and extraordinary educator, and you are surrounded by other well-trained and extraordinary educators. And because of these facts, you could exit this aircraft with confidence. You are ready. We are ready. Go leave your legacy. It's time. Green light, go. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. My name is Lee Stiff. I am the Associate Dean for Faculty and Academic Affairs of the College of Education. Now we come to the portion of our program when we acknowledge individual graduates. But before we do, let me make 3 announcements. First, there is no reason to hold your applause until all in a group have crossed the stage. In fact, we encourage you to applaud when your graduate approaches the stage. We acknowledge that there's a great accomplishment occurring here today, and we feel that we need to show our graduates just how proud we all are of them. Second, to ensure that we capture this special moment, we have hired a professional photographer to take pictures of all of our graduates. We know how much this day means to our graduates and to their families and friends. So please don't worry if you can't get a great picture from where you're sitting. Lastly, please note that those students graduating with distinction are highlighted in the program. Each year, our presentation of new doctorates is truly special. Shortly, I will invite the doctoral candidates and departmental faculty to join Dean Danowitz in the hooding ceremony. In the hooding ceremony, we will recognize those graduates who receive a doctorate degree. The doctorate is the highest degree that NC State University offers and is awarded in recognition of the rigorous, independent academic research that each student has conducted and produced in the form of a dissertation. So at this time, I'd like to ask Dean Mary Ann Danowitz and Interim Department Head John Lee to please join me on stage for the recognition of graduates from the Department of Educational Leadership, Policy, and Human Development. And will the department faculty please stand and be recognized? Don't be shy. Thank you, faculty. We begin the hooding of the graduates receiving a Doctorate of Education in Adult and Community College Education. Cassie Lynn Bird. Dissertation, Perceptions Toward Technology, Adoption of Electronic Health Record Systems Among Healthcare Professionals, a Q Methodology Study, under the direction of Professor Michelle Bartlett. Heather Marie Cloker Webster. Dissertation, Competency Identification for Threat Assessment and Management Teams, a modified Delphi study. This is NC State. We are never deterred. We soldier on. Under the direction of Professor Michelle Bartlett. Benjamin Taft Kearns. Dissertation, a propensity score matching study of community college athletics, under the direction of Professor James Bartlett. Terry Braswell Lynch. Dissertation, Battle Tested, the stories of African-American male alumni at a state residential math and science school, a narrative inquiry, under the direction of Professor Joy Gaston Gales. Higher Education Administration, Educational Administration and Supervision, Pauletta Spence Thompson. Dissertation, Exploring Leadership Readiness, Perspectives of Aspiring School Leaders within the District-Run Leadership Development Academy, under the direction of Professor Lisa Bass. Now, for the awarding of the Doctor of Philosophy degrees. The Doctor of Philosophy is awarded in recognition of the rigorous independent academic research that each student has conducted and produced in the form of a dissertation. Counseling and Counselor Education. Lauren Eastman Gardner. Dissertation, The Psychotherapy Experience of Pagans, a narrative physiological inquiry, under the direction of Professor Suman Raymond Ting, hooded by Dr. Angela Smith. Michael Keith Inglett. Dissertation, Evaluating Quality of Life, General Health, and Client Satisfaction from Counseling Services provided at a community-based counselor education program-oriented counseling center, under the direction of Professor Mark Grimmett. Elizabeth Ann Grady. Dissertation, Integrating Ethics, Multiculturalism, and Competence in Distance Counseling Supervision, a case study, under the direction of Professor Mark Grimmett. Corey William Clark. Dissertation, Developing a Competency System for Counseling Children, a Delphi Study, under the direction of Professors Adria Dunbar and Mark Grimmett. Brianna Lee Ellington. Dissertation, Preventing Targeted School Violence using a threat assessment model, an exploration of school counselors' prevention and intervention practices, under the direction of Professor Adria Dunbar. Educational research and policy analysis. Sarah Hardison Kutschen. Dissertation, Volunteer Experiences, a qualitative case study of volunteer perceptions of training and support, under the direction of Professor Susan Basinis. Educational Leadership and Policy Analysis, Sarah Elizabeth Martin. Dissertation, Part-Time Community College Faculty Perceptions of Assessment, under the direction of Professor Susan Basinis. John Andrew Tonison. Dissertation, But What Do Teachers Think? A multiple case study to examine teachers' perceptions of accountability policies, under the direction of Professors Lance Fazzarelli and Beth Sundale. Mihela Henderson. Dissertation, Does Taking Dual Enrollment on a College Campus Improve Student Outcomes? A quasi-experimental approach using inverse probability of treatment weighting, under the direction of Professors Stephen Porter and Brooks Bowden. Leslie Ann Mason. Dissertation, A Delphi Approach to Understanding Engagement in Doctors Working in Rural Communities in the State of North Carolina, under the direction of Professor Diane Chapman. Ashley Tice Rosenow. Dissertation, Teacher Professional Development in Nutrition Science to Enhance STEM Education, under the direction of Professor Tueri Bowles. Alexander Lee Waldy. Dissertation, Through the Early College Pipeline, 3 essays of the early college high school model and its influence on decision-making and transitional processes of ECHS graduates as degree-seeking students, under the direction of Professor Paul Umbach and Tueri Bowles. Jeremy Berkeley Tuckmeyer. Dissertation, The Community College Effect, an analysis of the pathways to the baccalaureate degree and annual earnings for community college transfer and four-year native graduates, under the direction of Professor Paul Umbach. Jingjing Song. Dissertation, Using Multi-Level Modeling to Predict Doctoral Time to Degree, under the direction of Professor Audrey Jager and Paul Umbach. Educational Leadership, Policy, and Human Development. Gregory John Chaney. Dissertation, The Integration of Pastoral and Clinical Identities, the Professional Identity Development of Pastoral Counselors, under the direction of Professor Sylvia Nasser. Thank you, Dr. Lee. Would Department Head Aaron Clark please step forward for the recognition of graduate degrees in the Department of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education. Also, will the faculty of STEM Education please stand and be recognized? Thank you. We will begin with the hooding of graduates receiving a Doctor of Philosophy degree, learning and teaching in STEM. Gregory Alonzo Downing. Dissertation, Leveraging Culturally Relevant Pedagogy in a College Algebra Course, a Mixed Method Study, under the direction of Professor Karen Hollebrands. Kayla Renee Duval. Dissertation, Characteristics of Master of Arts in Teaching Pre-Service Science Teachers' Pedagogical Content Knowledge During Student Teaching, under the direction of Professor Soon-Hae Park. Science Education, Sarah Christine Lugabul. Dissertation, a study of elementary teachers' views of science education and using the outdoors as a setting for teaching and learning, under the direction of Professor Sarah Carrier. Mathematics Education, Christina Noor Azmi. Dissertation, Secondary Mathematics Pre-Service Teacher Development of Statistics Teaching Self-Efficacy, under the direction of Professor Holly Lynn Lee. Thank you, Dr. Clark. Would Department Head John Lee please return, step forward and recognize the graduate degrees from the Department of Teacher Education and Learning Sciences. Also, with the faculty from Teacher Education and Learning Sciences, please stand and be recognized. Now, for the hooding of the graduates receiving a Doctor of Philosophy degree, curriculum, and instruction. Jeffrey Allen Greiner. Dissertation, using the C3 inquiry arc to teach critical issues in a social studies classroom, under the direction of Professor Megan Manfra. Charlotte Elizabeth Roberts. Dissertation, Understanding Historical Empathy through the Dialogue of Elementary School Students, a Qualitative Research Study, under the direction of Professor Megan Manfra. Next, we recognize the Master of Education degrees, beginning with the Department of Educational Leadership, Policy, and Human Development. Adult and Community College Education, Jennifer Ann Dillon. School Counseling, Erin Elena Baker. Elliot Matthew Brody. Christy Moth Case. Deanna Raquel Morrison. Janice Beth Roach. Tammy Robinson Pope. Sherry Jo Swan. Dawn Nicole Bartros. Erin Michelle Cotter. Deidre Marie Craig. William Michael Gherkin. Benjamin Connor Hartis. Malia Lynn Lemon. Amanda Marie Lentz. Malena Amber Lewis. Christy Tanyika McCrae. Amanda Di Melichek. Joyce Regina Rouse. Molly Jill Thrasher. Thank you, Dr. Lee. Dr. Clark, please join Dean Danowitz for the presentation of the Master of Education degrees in the Department of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, Education. We'll begin with science education. Brittany Warren Weaver. Technology education, Justin Michael Haynes. John Winslow Bray. Miriam Elias. Lauren Ashley Hopper. Haley Elizabeth Harrison Jones. Master of Arts in Teaching in Science Education, A. Gabrielle DeCaro. Leanne Ashley Moffitt. Connor Q. Norris. Alexandra Van Norsten. Tia Elizabeth Holloman. Curriculum and development supervision? Yes. Jermaine Ryan Howell. No, I'm saying. Oh, yeah, I can record. That's like my name's not Jermaine. Educational psychology. David Christopher Asian. New literacies and global learning reading. Kaylee Scarlett Hopper. New literacies and global learning, social studies. Tambry Nicole Aitchen. Digital learning and teaching. Shalonda Renell Watson. Elementary education. Tisa Rashonda Miller. Learning, design, and technology, Danielle Monique Mathis. Jordanis Chandra Murray, that doesn't seem right. Huh? Chandra, oh, sorry. Jordanis Chandra Murray. Donna Rossi Youngblood. Special education. Candace Sierra Denton. Joquisha Strong Howard. Megan Elizabeth Hubbard. Master of Science, Curriculum and Instruction, New Literacies and Global Learning, Middle Grades Education, Nada Wafa. Master of Arts in Teaching, Elementary Education, Yagut Aliyava. Kyung Yong Ong. Sydney Marie Babb. Chad Ian Blue. Mylyn Marie Botex Homel. Mary Virginia Broughton. Christine Nixon Bryant. Thomas Lee Carrington. Lindsay Don Chavola. Caitlin Cook Clenenden. Carolyn Mary Cody. Elizabeth McMillan Edie. Catherine Ann Guy. Maria Dale Renhut. I'm sorry, Marla. It's Marla Dale Renhut. Raina Essa. Melissa Joy Purdison. Kaylee Alexandra Roger. Courtney Grace Rogers. Megan Quinn Rogers. Christine Maureen Schutzer. Victoria Lynn Tamborini. Victoria Lynn Tamborino. Jamie Ann Thompson. Connie Lambert Thorne. Kristen Wade. Jasmine Tambria Wilson. English as a second language, Melanie Beth Soto. Special education, Rena H. Stevenson. I would now like to introduce Wala Sasur, who will give the charge to the undergraduate students. Wala, who entered the College of Education as a transfer student, is from Cary, North Carolina, and comes from a family of educators. While at NC State, she received the Colonel Rodman and Marvin B. Smith scholarships. She has been an active member of the Kappa chapter of the NC Council of Teachers of Mathematics and has observed, co-taught, and student-taught at multiple middle schools in addition to being involved in numerous youth and community support programs. After graduation, Wala will join the Wake County Public School System as a middle school mathematics teacher. Please join me in welcoming Wala Sasur to the podium.
Thank you all. It is an honor to address you all today. To our notable faculty and staff, I want to start off by acknowledging you all. You all work so hard so this becomes a reality for us. We come to you with dreams of becoming a leader, a counselor, or in my case, a teacher, and we leave you as professionals and highly qualified educators. and for that, we thank you. Now to the class of 2019, today is a testimony to your hard work and your commitment, not only to your own education, but more significantly to the education of others. Now, I'm not entirely sure what you're all feeling or thinking, but I imagine it's similar to what I'm feeling and thinking. Intense emotions and a lot of memories about how we ended up here. Whether that involved writing up lesson plans that beautifully tied to the standards, successfully pulling through awkward class presentations, or going through long nights working on assignments. There's one assignment in particular that I've been thinking a lot about, and it's every beginning of semester assignment that in some way or form asked me to go back and to reflect on the choice that I made when going into education, to write down my why statement, why it is that I chose to become an educator. Now, we all have our why stories. My why begins with my parents, who are both educators. My father is an engineering graduate from this very university, and my mother is also a math teacher. They were and continue to be the most influential educators I have ever had. Now, while a student at NC State, I was often the only female Muslim in my classes. So I didn't have that representation present, but I did have the experience of being taught by inspiring professors whose purposeful and relevant teaching, practices of empathy, and stimulating classroom environments reinforced my belief in my ability to succeed. It is for those experiences that I now aspire not only to become a great math teacher, but more importantly, to become an educator, just like my parents and professors were, because their influence certainly went beyond a single subject area. It is when I started student teaching that I quickly came to realize how incredibly important having a why statement is. Because as it turned out, I signed up to not only be a teacher, but also a nurse, a mentor, a parent, a friend, and a nurturer to over 120 kids. And that is where my why statement became really important. Because as you see at this point, thanks to the preparation that we all received at the College of Education, we all understand what we do. We know how we want to do it. But I think the challenge that I will face, and perhaps you too, is to articulate for ourselves why we do what we do. Because the truth is, the state of education is ever changing. And whether you're in your early stages of your careers or you're seasoned professionals, we don't know what politics, changes, or challenges will enter our classrooms, what choices we will need to make in the future. And that is where it becomes incredibly important to be grounded in our why statement. I would almost argue that we need a methodology or a personal navigation system by which we empower ourselves to hold on to our why and to answer a lifetime of questions and to tackle a lifetime of challenges that we will inevitably face in education. And because we're in the field of education and we love to use phrases and acronyms that no one else understands, I encourage you all to form your own personal system based on 3 E's. The 3 E's are evolve, educate, and esteem. The first component of that system is to evolve. This involves challenging the norms, challenging your surroundings, and challenging yourselves, because history is testimony to the truth that there is no phrase more destructive than saying, well, that's just how it's always been. Because though we no longer live in a time where classrooms are legally segregated based on race, color, or disability, we continue to live in a time of achievement gaps and stubborn patterns of inequity, and yes, that's how it's always been. But it does not need to continue to be that way if we focus on our ability as educators to evolve, if we use our power within our classrooms to move beyond the state that we're in today. So that first component is to always evolve. The second component is to educate, specifically to educate oneself before others, because your education does not end here. The next generation needs to find within us individuals who seek to understand what they're going through, who inspire them to rise above the obstacles of their time, because they are many, and who inspire them to make change. So that second component is to educate oneself. The third and final component is to esteem. Esteem means that we hold ourselves and what we do to high esteem, because this is a cliche, but it's not said enough about educators. You make a difference. You touch and change lives because from your profession, every other profession is born. So hold yourself and what you do to high esteem. My hope is that we all take these 3 E's and we modify them in a way where we continue to evolve, we stay educated, and we hold ourselves and what we do to high esteem. My hope is that we also aspire to become as effective of educators as we have had modeled during our time in the College of Education, that we too will value diversity, we will practice empathy, we will value connection making with our students, and then we will teach love for others and love for knowledge. And that finally, no matter what challenges we will face, we will always hold on to our why statement. Thank you all, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Walla. Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. Now we are at the portion of our program where we recognize the graduates receiving Bachelor of Science degrees. Dr. Clark, would you please join Dean Danowitz for the presentation of degrees to the graduates in the Department of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education, beginning with Mathematics Education. Kathleen Marie Kearney. Wala Sasu. Technology, Engineering, and Design Education, Cheyenne Christine Balzer. Joshua Thomas Cannon. Anthony Nabil Shawneen. Austin James Cunningham. Aiden S. Lovell. William James McGee. Aaron Paul Wilkes. Thank you, Dr. Clark. Dr. Lee, please join Dean Danowitz for the presentation of Bachelor of Science degrees in Education, General Studies in the Department of Teacher Education and Learning Sciences. Anna Lawrence Edwards. Amber Anel Gaza. Caitlin Alicia North. This concludes the presentation of degrees. Congratulations to everyone. Let's give everybody another round of applause. And I invite Dean Mary Ann Danowitz back to the podium.
I don't think it can be said often enough. Congratulations to each of our graduates. And welcome to the College of Education alumni family. Woo. Remember, you will always have a home in our college. And each one of you has been given a pin with the College of Education emblem. We've given you these pins so you'll always have a reminder of your ties to the college. I hope and ask that you always wear these pins with integrity, pride, and confidence, knowing that you are prepared for the responsibilities, challenges, and opportunities that lie before you. We're getting close, and I have a few comments and instructions. First, I want to thank the folks that are in the back of the room, our terrific staff, who work not only to make this ceremony great, but for the years that you've been here in our College of Education. They are superb. Also, I would like to acknowledge Dr. Michael Mayer. Michael, if you'd please stand. Michael will leave our College of Education, actually about tomorrow, after 12 years of extraordinary leadership and service to our college, especially in the area of improving our work in teacher and professional education. And Michael will go on to other pursuits to improve education at another level. So, to all of you, it's a great day, but more importantly, it's amazing what you've accomplished. I hope that you will carry with you the hope and optimism and the possibilities and be undaunted for whatever might be ahead of you. And remember, you have more potential than you will ever know. So, to our graduates, no longer students, but to our guests, please remain seated until the platform party has exited, and we ask that our graduates follow the marshals to the exit. We also ask all guests to please remain until the faculty and students have exited, and please allow those with accessible seating to leave first. And after our recessional, you are all invited to join us in the reception in room 8. And graduates, please meet your guests in the lobby. And finally, to our new alumni, to draw on the words of our remarkable student speakers, Greg and Walla. You are well trained, you are extraordinary educators. And, as Greg has said, you are ready to jump into the next phase of life. There will be challenges and times of uncertainty, but be grounded in the why statement. Always remember why you have chosen to be educators. That will carry you through whatever you may face and will lead to your having an extraordinary impact on the lives of those who need you the most. So congratulations and best wishes for the holidays. But lastly and most importantly, best wishes for what is to come. You have confidence and the possibilities to improve the future. Remember, your College of Education has been behind you while you've been here, and we will continue to be behind you wherever you may go. Thank you, congratulations, and happy holidays. It is a big holiday today.